Welcome back to another episode of Simple Roots TV. I'm so glad you're here. My name's Alexa, and this is the place to get healthy, live happy, and find more joy. Today, I'm going to show you how to make homemade elderberry syrup. But before I get into the recipe, I just want to tell you why it's important to add this little routine to your wellness regimen. Now, the thing about elderberries is they're really great at boosting your immune system. Over on the podcast, I released a few episodes on the immune system, and I really think it's such a fascinating topic and one that we really don't dive into that much. Like, yeah, you hear about preventative methods of preventing the cold and the common flu, but do we really dig into how do we prevent disease and everything in our body to just work better? And so, as I studied the immune system, and something that I've been doing for a while is elderberries. Like, elderberries kept coming up over and over and over again. Now, there's a lot of fascinating research about elderberries, but really, elderberries have been an ancient remedy of medicinal property for many years at preventing common colds and flus and other things that they didn't even know how to treat. So what we know about elderberries is that they have a really high nutrient content. Like, they're really high in vitamin C and zinc and other minerals that are extremely important in our immune function. But not only that, is that they can really help kill viruses and bacteria upon contact. Plus, there's some great work being done with elderberries in cancer and heart disease and other disease processes. So it's such a great thing to be adding to your everyday diet or lifestyle. Now, we're making like a little tincture here, so a little bit goes a long ways. Over on the blog, you can get more information though about elderberries and why they're so important. And make sure you listen to the podcast, number 123, all about the immune system, and number 124, which is why you shouldn't use hand sanitizer. Now, if you're gasping at that, don't worry, listen to 123 and then number 124 will make total sense. But for now, I'm going to show you how to make homemade elderberry syrup. Now, elderberry syrup is something that you definitely can buy at the store. I do purchase elderberry at the store occasionally, especially elderberry syrup with echinacea, which is also another powerful immune booster. But I have found that elderberry syrup is kind of expensive for really making it at home for a fraction of the cost. So elderberry syrup that I buy at the store maybe is around like $20 to $30, somewhere in there. I can't really remember, but it does have echinacea in it, which is a little bit more pricey. But elderberries at the store, I mean, you can buy a cup of elderberries for probably $6-ish, maybe not even that. And then the other ingredients for elderberry syrup is just water and honey or some other kind of sweetener, but I like honey because it also has medicinal properties as well. You could also add things like fresh ginger, cinnamon sticks, or nutmeg to the syrup as you're cooking it to get more flavor involved in there and other properties, health properties as well. But today we're just gonna stick with basic elderberry syrup. Now, to make the elderberry syrup, you need your dry elderberries. I'm just doing a half cup today because that's all I had left. So a half cup dried elderberries to 3 cups of water. Normally it's about 3/4 cup elderberries to 3 3/4 cup water. So, you know, somewhere around 2.5 to 3 cups of water. I might stop just a little bit short. And then you're gonna take this pot, you're gonna put it on the stove and you're gonna bring it to a boil, turn it down to a simmer and let it simmer until it's a thick paste. This will take roughly an hour to an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours to get to that point. So you just wanna turn it down and let it simmer away. You can do this on the weekends when you're at home doing other things, you know, just like let it sit, let it simmer. And then I'm gonna show you after it simmers how we strain it and then add the honey and how you can store it. So stay tuned and I'll be right back. Okay, and that 90 minutes that this was boiling and reducing down, it really did reduce by half. It has also gotten much darker outside, so sorry about that. But once you have your elderberries that have been reduced, obviously they're still chunky, right? What we're gonna do is we're gonna strain the elderberries out and leave all of the syrup. So to do that, you just need like a fine strainer, and then I'm just gonna use a measuring cup. So you're gonna dump the elderberries in there. I'm gonna try and get all of them. And then we're gonna use a wooden spoon and we're just gonna press the berries. So we're gonna try and get out as many nutrients as we can from those berries. So all the berries are in there, and then you just press them down to try and strain out all of the juice that you can from the berries. So you can work on this for a minute like I said, this is just like pulling the nutrients out of the berries themselves. I've thought about putting all of this in the Vitamix and just leaving in the whole berry and seeing if that would work to create like the thick syrup that we're going for as well. I haven't tried that, but maybe I'll try it after this and leave a comment in the video if it works. But you're just straining it all out. So I'm still pressing this, and obviously it's reduced by quite a bit. I might have boiled it a little longer than I would have. So maybe 60 minutes. I kind of got distracted with other things, which is nice about this is because it takes like no time at all. So once you have strained that and there's no more juice coming out of it, then you can just add your honey in. And now the honey gives it great flavor, but it also has some medicinal properties as well. So this by itself is just a thick syrup, a thick juice. It's not even really a syrup. So I'm gonna add about the same amount of honey as syrup in here. So this one has about 1/2 cup. I might do 1/3 of a cup just to keep it a little bit less sugar. Now, a lot of people are like, doesn't sugar hurt your immune system? Yeah, it's like refined sugar would definitely not be a good thing for your immune system. But if you're using like a local honey, Manuka honey is really, really great. It has a lot of great enzymes and actual nutrients in it. So I'm not opposed to honey. It will also make it taste better so you can get it in your kids really easily. So I think that this is powerful. It's been studied this way, not just the berry themselves. So I think that there is something to be said about this. So I'm gonna add a little bit more in. Clearly there's a little bit better way. I'm watching the measuring or the measurements on the container that I'm using. So just a little bit more, and then you're gonna stir it so it dissolves. And then you're just gonna let it sit and cool and pour it in a little container that you can use later on. So I just use a little glass mason jar, so you'll just pour it in there, let it cool all the way, and then you can store this in the refrigerator for up to 2 months. Adults take about a tablespoon a day, kids about a teaspoon, and you can do it twice a day if you're feeling under the weather, but if you're just doing it for preventative care, 1 tablespoon once a day or 1 teaspoon for kiddos once a day is plenty. So that's my elderberry syrup. Dump that out, and then you just pour it in a mason jar. Let it cool, put a lid on it, and then store it in the refrigerator. So that's how you make homemade elderberry syrup. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Simple Roots TV. Let me know if you have any questions below. Let me know if you've been using elderberry syrup, if you have any testimonials to it. Keep us posted on what you like about elderberry syrup and if you're gonna try making this at home. Of course, like I said, you can always purchase it at the store. I do have this with echinacea in it. This is one of the brands that I really like. But outside of that, this is really cost effective compared to this, which I believe costs somewhere around $25. This, to make all of this, which is maybe not quite the same amount, but only a fraction of the cost. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Best wishes on preventing the colds and flus this season. Make sure you check out episode number 123 and number 124 to get more information on the immune system. In the meantime, have a great week.